The desert is screaming, but the architects are deaf to anything but the sound of falling stone and missiles. The desert wind doesn't just carry sand anymore. It's carrying the metallic scent of a debt that can never be repaid. We're watching the ultimate short-sightedness of a machine that eats its own children to grease the wheels of a foreign altar. They call it strategy. I call it a funeral procession for the American spirit. We're being told that this war with Iran is about defense, but look at the blueprints, family. Look past the smoke on the cruise missiles and the rhetoric of preemption. This isn't about safety, it's about the third temple. It's about a small group of architects in Jerusalem using the American military as their personal demolition crew to clear the site for a prophecy that they're forcing into existence. We are the puppets. Our tax dollars are the strings, and our sons and daughters are the wood for the fire. You see, the cost isn't just the $100 fill-up that you're seeing nowadays at the pump or the crashing markets. The true cost is the blood soaking into the soil that doesn't belong to us, and the burning of our future to build someone else's kingdom. We're going to go over a lot of it today. So, do me a solid. Stay tuned.
These white lines keep on rolling out. We carry every heavy load and push away the doubt. And somehow, down this long dusty road, we find a better truth in the stories told. And we carry this together. Yeah, we carry this together.
Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters. I'm your host, Big Robs. Welcome to the driver's seat, where whatever the world throws at us, we carry the load together. I'm glad you guys could join me today, family. Take a seat, get comfortable, because we got a lot of ground to cover. But before we shift into the heavyweight, do me a huge favor. Tap that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. We're building a community of people who refuse to be programmed, and your engagement is the fuel that keeps this rig moving against the wind of censorship. You see, we can't do it without you. What I'm starting to notice is that there's a price to the puppet show. This conflict in Iran is starting to look like a war without borders, and this is what I mean. We've seen this movie before. But the theater just got a lot bigger. You see, the joint U.S.-Israeli assault is no longer confined to the Middle East or the borders of Iran, because just hours ago, a U.S. fast attack submarine fired a Mark 48 torpedo and sank the Iranian ship, the Iris Dina, not near Iran, off the southern coast of Sri Lanka, near India. So, the point is that the ship wasn't even in a combat zone. It was returning from a peaceful naval exercise with its ally, India. And by sinking it near the Indian coast, the US has signaled that this war has no borders. And look, War Secretary Pete Hegseth, Pete Douchebag, he called it a quiet death. But this is the first US submarine torpedo kill since World War II. And there's nothing quiet about 87 sailors dead in international waters, and we abandoned them. The etiquette of the ocean says, even if you are to bomb an enemy, it is your responsibility to go and try to rescue the remaining sailors. Do with them what you will, but rescue them you must. This sets a dangerous precedent, because now we're hunting enemies in the backyards of neutral nations. This isn't defense. This is a global hunt that risks pulling in India and every other Indian Ocean power into the fire. And we're pitting allies against each other. It can get a little testy. Next, I want to talk about something that I've been hearing about for the last couple years, the red heifers, the third temple, etc., etc. For any of my friends out there that aren't into the eschatology, you should definitely take a deep dive, because it gets interesting. So now, family, we have to talk about the why. Why is this war so imminent right now? And I think that why is finally starting to leak into the public consciousness. Tucker Carlson just dropped a banger of an episode interviewing a guest, and he was giving the raw history of the temples and the specific prophecy that the cult of Israel follows.
Is this kind of behind the scenes push to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem, which would require destroying the third holiest place in Islam, the mosque, the Al-Aqsa Mosque?
If it was up to me, I would pretend that one missile came from Iran and shoot it down.
Shoot it down into the Dome of the Rock in Al-Aqsa. Destroy what's on what the Israelis call the Temple Mount and blame the Iranians. Is it beyond imagination that in the fog of war, maybe one of those missiles hits the Dome of the Rock, or we're told that it did? The Al-Aqsa complex is just vaporized. Oops, the Iranians did it. Then we have this debate. It's like a hospital bombing in Gaza. Who did it? Well, it was a booster from a Hamas rocket. Well, how do I know? I wasn't there. All we know is it's gone. Oh, so sorry. Could that happen? Oh, yeah, it could happen. And what happens then? Global religious war. That could happen.
He laid it out like butter on toast that there's a driving force trying to bring about the third temple at any cost. And since Tucker opened that door, I decided to dive into it. But through the skeptic's lens. It's clear. Israel's role in this conflict is cunning and cruel. They're using the American muscle as a demolition crew to facilitate a catastrophic regional war, just to clear the site for a building. And we're being used as the puppets to fulfill this extremist agenda in Jerusalem, while hundreds of thousands of people in the Middle East are being disappeared by the very same policies. But why is an American mother losing her son for a construction project in the Middle East? That's what we should be asking ourselves. And if you want to know how the American mothers feel, which they're not alone, how the Americans feel as a whole, it seems that people have withdrawn consent. The elite are driving this rig into a ditch, and we're all screaming for them to hit the brakes. We got some polls that I want to go over with you right now. You see, the latest polls from this week are a landslide of dissent, and I don't think it's what they were expecting. Because 87% of people oppose the war with Iran. That's a staggering majority of Americans, okay? And approval has already cratered. Only 27% of the country even approved the initial strikes, making them the minority. And there's an Israeli benefit factor to this. You see, more and more Americans, especially 60% of people under 40, see this as a war of foreign interests being done for our greatest allies. And our interests are being left in the dust. And there's a cost to this. There's an economic and a domestic cost, because the fallout is hitting our wallets right now as we speak. And bro, with the Indian Ocean now an active combat zone, shipping routes are paralyzed, okay? Oil is quickly heading towards $100 a barrel. And that means everything from your groceries to your gear, to your fuel, to your lighting, to your kids' school clothes is about to get more expensive. We're isolating ourselves from the world to play the part of the puppet. So we're facing not just a domestic, but a global backlash. And it seems like Vietnam syndrome is making a comeback to haunt us. Let us learn from the mistakes of our past as to not repeat them in the future. Future generations don't have to pay the price that our forefathers did. So let's get it right. That's all the freight for today, family. Thanks for riding shotgun with me. Now look, I'd like to hear from you in the comments. I mean, what is it? From the Third Temple agenda, or maybe the sinking of the ship in international waters, the jump in oil prices? What's really affecting your life? What's taking you off route today? Let me know. But remember, no matter how heavy this world gets, we carry that load together. I'm your host, Big Robs, signing out from the driver's seat.